What is up, everybody? This is Donald from the Pinstripe Chronicles, and I have my co-host here in the Indomitable Tats, and we are brought to you by the Northeast Streaming Sports Network and Yahoo and YouTube, and of course Facebook Live. So we've got some exciting breaking news to come with, which is obviously good news because another difficult night for the Yankees last night. That is their fifth straight series loss, which hasn't actually happened since 2005. Tats had hair back then, and of course, that was the first year I could legally drink alcohol in New York State. So, that was a long, long time ago. 2005. So, this is not a good record for the Yankees. Obviously, they've got a .333 winning percentage since the All-Star break, third worst in the majors, along with the teams that are actually outright tanking. It's not a good look. So something had to happen. Obviously, we're going to discuss the game very, very soon, but I will bring you the breaking news, and that is that Brian Cashman finally listened to his fan base. We have to take a little bit of credit here. Obviously, we're on our smaller platform, but we've also got NYY News. Pete Simonetti has been beating this drum for a long time. I think finally it reached certain people. The Yankees have called up Oswaldo Cabrera and Estevan Florial. And from what I'm hearing, Ron Marinaccio will soon be on his way, if not now, very, very soon. This is big news for the Yankees. Finally, they're going to be given a jolt from their youth. So I'm excited for Estevan Florial. He'll probably be playing center field tonight to replace Aaron Hicks. And, of course, we'll have Oswaldo Cabrera, who can play a bunch of positions. I'm particularly high on him, so we will get into breaking him down for you today. So that's our exciting breaking news for you.
It's about time.
It is about time, man. As I say, the NYY News crew, they confirmed that. They've been saying that for a couple of days now, that something needed to change. We've been saying it for a number of weeks now that something had to change. The Twins at Twin Source, and of course Boys in the Big Apple, they were beating this drum as well. So it's finally happened. Tats, what do you think about the call-ups?
Like I said, it's about damn time. We can't keep sitting in this circus of mediocrity. And like you use the word a lot, you're hearing this word a lot, is meritocracy. If you don't deserve to play, you should not be playing. If you're not contributing, you should not be playing. If you are in the minor leagues and you are tearing it up, what does it hurt to have them come up? It's not. What are you going to do? Maybe they hit, maybe they don't. Mm-hmm. You don't know. You don't. This might be that jolt. Especially for Florial, maybe he'll get more than 10 at bats before they send him down. Let him at least get a little comfortable in the game. So I think that this is so long overdue, and it's really a shame that as championship driven that the Yankees are, they year in, year out, they wait until the last possible moment where sometimes it's too late. What did I say a month or so ago? As long as they maintain a double-digit lead, I'll stay as calm as I can. Well, now it's a single digit. So now I'm going to start worrying a little bit more. And I think that also coincides with the move. I think that drip in the standings where now it's only single digits, it's now or never. So I think that this is this better be that spark. It better be the spark.
Yeah, so look at Florial, for instance. He's having a pretty good year in AAA, batting .286 with 14 home runs, 26 doubles, pair of triples, and 32 stolen bases, which is very, very hefty. So he's going to give you
screaming for Florial to get a chance since we started these shows.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, the Yankees aren't overly high on him. I think they view him as a 4A player. But Obviously, he strikes out a lot. If you look at his strikeout percentage, it's still over 30%, which is very, very high. But what was the alternative? Aaron Hicks? That's this. I mean, Aaron Hicks is broken. It's done. Like, it's finished. That was finished last year. But the Yankees pedaled him again, hoping for some kind of miraculous comeback this year. It hasn't happened. He can't play center field. He plays center field like he's blindfolded, and he's hitting like he's blindfolded also. So this is at least you're going to get some upside here. Hicks provides no upside. Florial provides upside. He provides you speed. Hicks provides no speed. He provides power. Hicks provides no power. I mean, it's just a no-brainer at this point. We're going to get to see what we have of Florial. If it works, great. If not, then it's literally no harm done, because at least you're giving a try, doing something a little different. There's no point repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Hicks is done. It's finished. Forget about it. Let's give Florial a chance until Bader is ready. So that's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. I mean, to be honest, it should have been done at the All-Star break, but we are here. At least it's been done, better late than never, right?
No, yeah. And what is with Florial? Florial is that guy, like we've said so many times before. He needs consistency in the lineup. He can't just be used as a bench player or, a guy that comes in for a game as a defensive replacement late. He has the ability to have, good range in the outfield. He's got the bat. He's not a prolific power hitter, but he's got a little pop in his bat, and he makes, he's got a very level swing. So he's a contact hitter. And he's got speed on the bases, which is pretty much three things that the Yankees desperately need right now. You get that in one player, and you also brought up somebody with him. So you have two options to salvage what's left of the month of August.
Now, next up, we've got Oswaldo Cabrera. Now, I've been championing him since we've been on this show. I've been very excited about his potential. He's 23. He can play a range of positions. He's not outstanding in any position, but he's very good in a bunch of them. He can play short. He can play third. He can play second. He can even play the outfield. He can play right or left field. So he is a super utility guy. So when I heard the Yankees sign Marvin Gonzalez, I actually wanted us to call up Cabrera, because I think, to be honest, we need to not be so afraid to call up younger players. So they've given him a chance. Cabrera has been hitting the absolute holy hell out of the ball for months now, since he's recovered from injury, batting well over 300 and just mashing at AAA. So he's getting called up. I'm not quite sure what the corresponding moves will be yet. You have to believe that Tim LaCastro is going to be sent down.
I think it's going to be him and Marwin. It's going to be LaCastro.
Yeah, I think Marwin has a chance of being DFA'd. I mean, he's played twice in like 3 weeks or something like that. There's really no reason to keep him on the roster. When Aaron Boone said, we played Marwin last night to give us a spark, then that tells you everything that you need to know about the state of the Yankees right now.
Yeah,
so,
he's not the guy that's going to do that.
No. So this was the right thing to do. You call up somebody who's 23. He has more upside than Florial, and he's one of our better power prospects. I wanted him to get a chance. And what's also cool about this is look at the amount of switch hitters now we have in our lineup. It adds versatility. Benintendi obviously can bats from the left side. You've also got Florial and Cabrera. They're switch hitters. You've got a bunch of switch hitters now that can come in and add versatility to the offense, add better matchups. Everything will work out better, in my opinion. Plus, you get upside. And so I'm excited for Cabrera. What have you heard about Oswaldo Cabrera, Mr. Taz?
I know he was a very sought-after prospect during the trade deadline for last year, and even more so this year with the way he's been playing. I think that these are just – I think his play is going to complement what the Yankees need just as much, if not even more, than Florial, because this is fresh blood now. Florial's been up here a little bit. We're a little more familiar with him on the major league level. Cabrera's getting his first, little taste of it. And I think that's going to be the biggest spark. I think if anybody's going to be the biggest spark of the two, it's going to be Cabrera. He's going to. My advice for him as a young kid coming into it: stay within your game. You don't need to come up here and win the game for us. Just contribute. Because I think that's sometimes what happens when these Yankees finally get called up, because it takes a decade to get the call. So when they do get up here, they press because they want to prove that they can stay up here.
Yeah.
Rather than stay within the game that got them.
It's a very good point.
I think that's that Cabrera just, and Florial too. I'm going to put Florial, if you're going to get a bigger window to prove yourself, just make it count. Don't try to reinvent yourself as a major league player than, what you were doing in the minor leagues. I think that's a very key factor when it comes to getting these call-ups. Is it going to work? Is he going to damage his value? If you stay within what you're supposed to be doing, then your value will increase more than decrease, even if you go over. So I think that's something that Cabrera needs to keep in mind.
Well, as you say, I do agree with you. I think that there's an added pressure, not just putting the pinstripes on, which is a very heavy shirt to wear in the first place, but also the fact is when you have options, that you probably only have 4 at bats, and you're probably going to get sent down unless you hit the cover off the ball, and that adds pressure because Brian Cashman is known for just sending you down at the nearest opportunity once a veteran is ready to go. We've seen it with Clint Frazier when he was our prize prospect. He was up and down like a yo-yo. He did it. He's already done it to Florial. He did it last year to Florial. This is what he does. So there is a bit of pressure because you have to press. You're like, oh my God, I don't know if I don't want to get sent down again. I don't want to be riding a bus. I don't want to be riding the shuttle to Scranton all the time and back. So I got to do more. So I hope that the Yankees give them a little bit of breathing room. There's very few prospects that Brian Cashman has been very patient with. One of them, Aaron Judge, and it's worked out. The other, Gary Sanchez, which hasn't worked out. But it's time to give these guys a little bit more rope. I know we're competing, but listen, other teams do it. The Mets just called up their top prospect. The Braves call up their top prospect. The Astros call up their top prospect. This is what they do. The Rays do it all the time, and they all compete. So it's time that we start doing the same thing. Can't be afraid of it. So I hope that this is a start, and gives the offense a jolt. I'm really excited. And with the news that another more breaking news, it looks like Holmes is going on the IL.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I assume that the corresponding move will be Marinaccio will be on his way up as well, which, is a long time coming.
Yeah, no, he should have never been sent down to begin with. Mm-hmm. Enough of this option stuff. It's getting tired. It's tiresome. It's to the level of it's almost just a cop out. From Cashman, because he never wants to say that it didn't work. He's that stubbornness. That I think that's what drives us crazy with him the most. He'll make moves when he needs to. We were having trouble with the bullpen. He got 2 bullpen arms. We needed to shore up the rotation. He signed out, for Montas.
Yeah,
Hicks has been playing terrible. He traded for Bader. So he'll make the moves that the Yankees need, but his stubbornness doesn't allow him to utilize these guys properly. Especially with Benintendi's the poster child for that this year.
Yeah.
So it's to the point where if this is ever going to turn the season around, it is now. What I was surprised at with Cabrera, that it was Cabrera and not Peraza to put, for and move IKF.
Yeah, I would have loved to see uh, Peraza, but I assume that they have a plan that they want to go all in on IKF. They also want to give more at bats to Cabrera. He can play short as well. I think that they're all in on IKF. Listen, I want Peraza, but listen, we got 2 out of 3. We
No,
can't complain.
I'm not complaining about
Cabrera. You never know. Maybe it'll be very, very soon before we see Peraza. You never know. But listen, this is a start. So moving on, we had a game last night.
Did we?
Well, we did for about 8 minutes. I think it was about 7.5 minutes. We had a competitive ball game. Tats, what were your thoughts on last night's loss?
Pathetic. It's a circus at that stadium. If it wasn't for a Yandy Diaz error, you would have been shut out for 3 straight games. And that is, I think, like we said, that's why you saw the corresponding moves after the game, because something's got to give. And I think that what I find funny, is it was against the Rays, which if you go back to 2016, before the deadline, when we got embarrassed by the Rays, is when they finally pulled the trigger and started making all those trades.
Mm-hmm.
So it's again, Kevin Cash continues to manage that organization to a winning atmosphere. Boone was doing that in the beginning. I think Boone's kind of lost his edge a little bit. I think he's looking more defeated than the players look. And when your manager gets that, then we all know how it's going to end.
Yeah, he does sound a little bit deflated, and it sounds like he's almost convincing himself. He's like, "Oh, we just got to get around. Oh, it's a tough period, but we're going to come around." Blah 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 blah. It's just, it didn't sound genuine. It just sounded like he's saying it just to be positive for the sake of it, rather than that he actually genuinely means it. So, you can see the approach that these guys are having, man. Everyone is in a slump. Basically, everybody is in a slump right now. I mean, you're seeing Rizzo missing fastballs right down the middle of the plate. Seeing Gleyber Torres miss fastballs right down the middle of the plate. Donaldson hasn't hit a fastball all year long. I've never seen so many so many guys in one team miss pretty routine fastballs. I didn't think the Rays pitched particularly well yesterday. I just thought that the Yankees were missing hittable pitches.
Yes. It's funny with Rizzo because he had the back issue. It almost leads to wonder if they should have just put him on the IL, rather than just a couple of days rest. Because something tells me that they put him in the lineup too soon. I think they got desperate.
Yeah, I mean the back issue is something that's just not easy to recover from. He's been having that for a long time, so it's going to take a little time. I do think he's going to.
The Yankees right now don't have the luxury for that.
I do think it's going to come around a little bit, but he doesn't look great. But I mean, to be honest, everybody's in a slump right now. Even Aaron Judge was missing pitches.
Yeah,
he was swinging at pitches that are 6 feet outside the strike zone yesterday. This is a thing. It's kind of like an illness when it just spreads. And now this slump has spread through the whole lineup, and I think everybody's trying to do too much, and you're seeing this is carrying over. One glimpse and glimmer of hope was Benintendi. He squared up on a couple of pitches, obviously hit that triple. He just missed a home run, which would have tied the game. Benintendi looked good. Wouldn't it be nice if you put him on the top of the order, which is his actual job? That might be something. I do have a serious issue with the way that Boone has been constituting the lineups, but I don't even think he constitutes them. I'm telling you, I think it's the nerds. I think it's the Mike Fishman upstairs, and I think he just has to follow up on what they request the batting order to be, because no one that's got the 3 generations of baseball in their blood like Aaron Boone does would consider having a Benintendi batting 6th. It just doesn't make any sense. Trevino batting 5th, Donaldson batting 4th. Donaldson hasn't hit a fastball all year. If you just look at open your eyes and use your common sense, you would know that would never ever happen.
Even with LeMahieu out, you have Benintendi to bat leadoff. Why are you batting Torres? Torres is actually, the last couple of games, he might not have all of the results, but his swing is starting to level out again. So he might be on the verge of breaking out of his slump. I mean, that's still yet to be seen, but his swing looks a lot more level. It seems like he's going back to the way he was, because he has been making decent contact. So maybe.
But then he also made that terrible play defensively, man.
Yeah.
Where Trevino made that throw.
Yeah, but the team
he tried to do the backhand.
Every error is going to seem amplified.
Missed the ball altogether. I mean, Torres has been a non-factor since the All-Star break. It looks like an issue with Torres is when his bat isn't going, it affects his defense.
Yep.
And it affected it last year, and it looks like it's affecting it now because since the All-Star break, his defense has declined and his offense has been MIA. So, but to be honest, this is a reoccurring theme. I mean, we're talking about 1 run over 27 innings. This is unbelievable. It should have been 5 shutouts in 10 games, but for that error, as you mentioned, Tat. So, this has been an ongoing thing, and it's dull. It's dull watching, Tats. Did you watch the entire game?
No, I didn't watch the entire game. I was hanging out with my parents last night before they move, but I was but obviously the box score is always right in front of me. But it was just you're following along. There was nothing to say, oh crap, put the TV on real quick. You haven't had that moment. I can't remember when. Even when the other game, it was not last night, the night before, when Judge comes, Judge comes up with Torres on, double play, and everybody. There's no reason to, like my cousin Nick has been saying on the show when he's on. There's no reason to pitch to him. You don't have to pitch to Judge.
No,
you just walk him every time. If
he wants to be crazy too.
And like we said, and then we amplified that yesterday. You take Judge out of the equation, there's your victory against this team.
Of course. It's so easy to pitch to this team. I mean, if you look at it, there's only 2 genuine power hitters in this lineup. It's Aaron Judge and Stanton. And Stanton's hurt. Rizzo is just after that, but I view him more of an all-round hitter rather than just a straight-up power hitter. There's a lack of power hitting in this team, which is I've never come across that as an issue with the Yankees before, but it's an issue with them this year. And it's also just the misuse of players. Like, you did well to acquire Benintendi. You're not putting him in a position to succeed. No one's driving in Benintendi. Who's driving him in? Higashioka? Hicks? Are you freaking kidding me? So this is an issue. I really don't understand the way the Yankees have been running their operation since the All-Star break. I think that they've gotten comfortable. I think they're like, we're 10 games clear. It's all good. It's not like that way, because look at the Dodgers. They're steamrolling everyone, but they keep steamrolling everyone. They keep winning. They're on a way over 80 wins now this year. So they're just
that's why I hate this whole, it's the dog days of summer. Well, the Dodgers are kicking everybody's ass.
Everybody's ass.
The Mets are kicking everybody. The Astros keep on rolling. So don't give me that, it's the summer. We all know that teams are going to go through this. No.
Yeah.
Maybe a series or 2. But this has been going on for so long that this is just mediocrity. This isn't smart.
So we pitched well, though. Another quality start, this time from Nestor.
Well, that's why you noticed, like I said yesterday, I will not say one word about the pitching until they're hitting.
No.
Until they put up runs.
He gave up a 3-run home run, but after that, he shut him down.
Yep.
What did you think about? What did you think about the pitching?
I think the pitching has been doing just what we expected to do.
Yep.
I think they have their game plan against these teams and these lineups, and they've been very well at executing their game plan. Rosarina, they got to him, in the first inning. Like you want to do it every good pitcher if you want to get them in the first inning because you don't want want to get them before they settle in. That was the approach that their offense took against our pitching, and it worked for them. And that those 3 runs, held up through the whole game. Which at Yankee Stadium, you can't put up a run. You have to wait for somebody to make a mistake, and then we're going to, lucky enough, you have not heard the narrative of, oh, I can't believe Cortez left that pitch over the plate. No, because everybody knows that the pitching is not the problem and has not been the problem. They got themselves sorted out. Now we got to wait for the offense to see if they can. And that offense is not going to straighten out until Stanton's back in the lineup with Judge.
6th straight quality start that hasn't led to a victory for our.
It's so depressing.
It is. I mean, he gave you 7 innings of 3-run ball. You take that. You take that.
The bullpens clean themselves up.
You take that every day, man. But I mean, it was kind of sad that once that 3-run home run cleared the fence in the first inning, I turned it off. I was like, well, this game's over. There's absolutely that should never, ever happen. When you're the New York Yankees, that should never, ever, ever happen. That as soon as a 3-run home run goes, that's 30 runs right there. This might as well be 30 runs because they're never making it up. That is an embarrassment. So it really is deeply unacceptable. I think it's deeply unacceptable for any team, even a team like the Nationals who are trying not to win. That would be unacceptable too. That you just be like 3 runs is far too much to even dream about coming back from. But that was the situation last night. I stuck around. I did turn it back on and I watched it, and I was very disappointed with the approach. I thought that it just seemed lethargic. There's a lethargy, and you keep hearing post game players like Aaron Judge, players like veterans like Rizzo saying, "We need a spark. We need a spark." That's not a great endorsement of your manager, who I think should be keeping this train running, and it should be more. There should be a bit more energy. The fact that they keep looking for this outside source of a spark, I believe, is a message to Brian Cashman that they need to look at their options in AAA, and they've finally done it. So I really hope that this is the last episode where we complain, and I hope tomorrow we see some signs of life, a spark, and hopefully it comes from these 2 young bats we're bringing up.
No, I miss leading off the shows and going through the shows going, that was such a well-played baseball game. I can't remember the last time I said it.
I know.
It's so unacceptable. It's so frustrating. Something's got to give, and tonight should be, and we cross our fingers that these moves are going to be what we've needed, and put a little youth into this team.
Don't be afraid of youth. I mean, other teams are doing it. So we've already mentioned all the other competitive teams that are doing it. It's now high time the Yankees do it, and not just hug prospects and not just be obsessed with service time, as you said earlier, Tats. Put the best 26 men that you possibly can on your roster. That's the only thing I ask of Brian Cashman. It's not a big ask. Put your 26 best players on your roster playing right now, and you will not hear a complaint from me. So we're almost there. We just need Peraza called up soon, but hopefully sooner rather than later. But I hope that this is going to look better. We've got to get a win tonight, and we will see how that goes. And we will have Rob back tomorrow to break it all down. The 3 of us will be back. So I just like to say thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. and wear your pinstripes with pride and play hard.